What's up, sim racers? It's Larry at TJR Sim, and looking at Project Cars 2 again, and this time I figured it might be helpful for maybe some newcomers to the series. You know, figuring out there's a lot of cars, 180 cars, right? But you know, which one should you spend some time driving? Well, you should drive them all to see which one you like the best, but to get you out on the track and being the fastest out of the gate with the least amount of complications, figured I'd just do some videos, and if you enjoy them, you know, you might have heard my kids screaming in the background. If you enjoy them, you know, leave a comment. If you want to see some more, I'll just continue on with this test drive series. But today I'm going to look. I think the road cars are pretty dang cool in Project Cars 2. So keep in mind, fastest is not always the fastest. Slow in, fast out. Okay. So we got the McLaren 720S, 918 Spider, the Pajani the Hora BC, LaFerrari, P1 McLaren, and the Radical RXC Turbo. So out of all these 6 cars, my least favorite, the least, and you know, let's say the car that makes you feel like a boss out there, the one that you can put it where you want it easily. It's confidence inspiring. You'll be faster out of the gate with the least amount of suspension tuning and stuff to the worst. And not that any of these cars are bad, just the learning curve is a little bit more on some than the other. So the RCX Turbo is probably the biggest learning curve out of all of them, being that it doesn't have a lot of stuff. You know, it just has traction control. It doesn't have the of course you can turn it all on, but we're just going to do it out of the box. The settings are authentic, how they would normally come in a car, and that's how we're going to run them as you brung them. But my favorite pick is actually the McLaren 720S, as being the most confident inspiring car out there in the Road A group. And we'll do a test drive of it and kind of give you some, hopefully be able to see kind of what I'm feeling. I'll leave the steering wheel on too, so you can see how it's reacting to it. But this car, you can actually pretty much place it where you want it. Now you might think that the McLaren P1 would have been the car of choice between at least these two McLaren series, being that's 217 miles per hour mph, 2.7 0 to 60, 906 horsepower. It's a little bit heavier at 9284, but 906 freaking horsepower. So this car is I'm actually faster on track with the P1, but it's not necessarily the fastest car consistently on the track. I have to work harder at it. This one puts you into corners a lot faster than say the 720S does, even though 0 to 60 is still the same. But you know, out on the track, the 100 to 140 range, the P1 just screams over the 720S. So 0 to 60 really doesn't matter much out on track, as opposed to how well you're able to position your car on track when you're in these tight situations with other racers out there. In as many years as I've spent myself on the track with motorcycles, racing road course and stuff, have a little bit of experience in this, not road racing cars, but it's still the same concept. Racing's still the same concept. So I would equate it to like with motorcycles. If you're a motorcycle fan, just because you have a 1000cc GSX-R 1000, which is what I had, there will be guys out on the track with a GSX-R 600 running circles around you because their corner speed is so much faster than yours. You spend more time on a faster bike or in a faster car braking than you do accelerating. Your accelerator makes up for some of your bad driving, so to speak. So now obviously if you're badass with higher horsepower, you can and you know how to control it better, practice makes perfect, then you'll be faster on track, of course, with a faster vehicle. But let's just dive into it. Let's just get out on the track and show you how this car works. But hopefully that kind of explains to newcomers to sim racing, especially with Project Cars 2. You know, the faster, higher number isn't necessarily going to mean you're faster in it until you get acclimated and trained on becoming faster. And that's why you start with something slower and work your way on up. But try them all out. They're all great cars, actually. Enjoy them all. The Porsche 918 is probably my second favorite, and the Pagani is the sexiest to set in out on track. Now the LaFerrari is just intoxicating as far as the sound goes on that one. So that one's, and you know, all of those cars I can be a little bit faster on track, but it just takes a lot more work to be that way. Now just to show you, the gameplay is set on authentic, so however they come, however they're meant to come from the factory. And tuning setup, I'm just going to use a standard setup, stable setup from SMS, something that y'all can pick from. No special tuning, no lowering tire pressures, changing the camber, suspension, nothing, just as straight out of the box. So anyway, this car, listen, sounds badass. Has some heavy steering, of course. Feel nice road textures on this track. And I picked Ulton track because it was got a lot of elevation changes, and it's a little bit more difficult track to pass on. Ooh yeah, getting sideways. Man, this thing is fighting for traction with cold tires. Keep in mind, ooh yeah. You can see what I'm talking about. You know, you get a little too hairy in the curves and stuff, just, you know, straight out of the box with some cold ass tires, it's pretty easy to handle this car. It doesn't do anything too unexpectedly. Brakes definitely need to get some warmed up, get some heat in them there. In comparison, I think this car I was turning 141s, and then the P1 I was turning 139s. Well, as far as lap, you know, but I would consistently be faster in this car than I would the P1. It's got good feedback. Going up this hill is getting light, back in wanting to step out a little bit. Hard on the brakes, a little bit oversteer, there. It's got a really good control. Front end goes light. Oh yeah. What I like about this car is you can confident, inspiring as far as putting it where you want to. See if we can catch this other car and get a pass on them. Like coming down this hill there, you know, your car is searching on those bumps through there, but you know, you can maintain control of it pretty dang easily. Just a little bit of steering input. Does a good job with the understeering. Gives some good feedback as far as what the car's doing. Allows you to push the car actually a little harder than the others. Which you see, I was able to catch up with this P1 fairly quickly. Now he's out accelerating me, but my corner entry is considerably faster because he's in my way now, right? Wasn't even trying to be faster there. Exiting though, that's where the horsepower kicks in. This is a good example. He's able to just pull away easily, but he's already spending time under the brakes, where I had another few feet before I even had to touch the brakes. I had to touch the brakes a little early just because he was in my way. Can you imagine with not, having a clear track, you can be even faster. But hopefully this will be helpful for you when you go out doing online racing. What car do you pick when you're out there on track trying to race with others and not piss everybody off? When you get into sticky situations, whoa. See, I didn't even need a brake in there, but I had to because of him. I was able to get on the gas a lot sooner through that curve. Look at the run I'm getting up on this guy. Again, corner entry, a lot faster. So this is some good examples of fast your car against a slower car. But if your corner entry, if you can carry more speed through the corners, you're going to be faster lap per lap than you are just blasting down the straightaway, drag racing each corner, stopping, turning, and then going. This thing sounds badass too. Gives good feedback. Now what you see on the wheels shaking and stuff, that's of course what my wheel's doing as well. I am using the Jack Spade's force feedback tweaks, which you can get from the Project Car forums, or check out my other videos and you'll see what to do. Really easy to control. There's a lot going on. It feels like there's a lot going on with your wheel, which is pretty cool. It's nice and engaging. But at the same time, you feel like a boss when you're out here doing it. Man, a lot of little shake down that hill there with the front end. That was pretty cool. See if I can get a decent time out of this one here. Oh, a little wide. Yeah. Now you turn off traction control and all that, which is not necessarily authentic. You can step this car through the curves under power a little bit easier. Like right there, I could have punched it and got the back end come around on me a little bit to help make it straighter through the curve. I like this uphill where they seems to take flight with the front end. I generally like the Radicals that's in front of me more as far as a production car, just because it's more raw. But in this case, that particular Radical I did not care for as much. 142, potential 141. You have enough clean track. So you're able to go all the way up to his bumper without hitting him. I don't know, it's just, you got really good feedback of placing this car where you want it. Whoa, Nelly. Little panic situation there as far as getting under brakes, but the car is very composed. And that's the confidence inspiring I'm talking about. You're able to pass people. I keep trying to gear down here, but I'm too high of a RPM's a little too high to let it drop down a gear. See, under braking, passing that guy, that was pretty good. Now, Porsche 918 is actually a lot of fun. Definitely get you into corners faster. It is my second pick for the Road A cars. Oh, it's not going to give me a time because I went a little bit wide there. I'd have bet I was a lot quicker that time. Definitely went too deep there. Yeah, they pitted in. They didn't want none of this. Like we might have some clean track here. Let's see. Final lap. Alton Park's also a good example to use, being that the track is so tight. You know, so your typical 40-foot wide track, 2 cars wide, and that's about it. Anyway, this is a car that you just go out there and just having fun, and you forget about how long you've been out on track. It's a lot of fun. That turbo spool up is badass sound. Able to sneak on by that guy just because of the confidence this car gives you. Where are you gonna go? You can just stay in my way, huh? Just trying to block. Alright, let's see what we turn out here. Not much better. Alright, well, that was it. That was a look at the Type A cars. Hope you, or Road A cars rather. Hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, this is try to get you out on the track, maybe be a little helpful to the newcomers out there. As you can see, all these different cars and stuff. But anyway, this is a look at the Road A. I'll go on to Road B, Road C, D, and so on. If you're all liking this type or this particular series, so let me know. Oh, also just to let you know, my picks, just reiterate it. First pick is the 720S. Second pick is the Spider, and the LaFerrari is my third as far as you progress as a sim racer, of which ones are kind of the next progression level. The Pagani is pretty cool. It's just one of the sexiest cars to set in to race around on the track, but it's not, you know, it's kind of blah to drive. It's not as fun to drive. It does everything pretty dang well. So it's just not as, didn't have as much character to it to me than say these previous three. So P1, another great car. RXC rather. Radical is probably the least favorite, and more for the more advanced users. I do enjoy racing it, but not for the purpose of this video. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you on the track later. I'm out.